Hello, today we're going to talk about problem solving, and one of the methods everybody likes to use is 8D. There are the 8 disciplines method. Here are the 8 disciplines, but there's 9. D0, what's that all about? Well, D0 is when you are defining the problem and asking the why 5 times so that you know what problem you have to describe in D2. Now 8D is a team-based problem-solving process, and the problem is a nonconformity or something that does not meet requirements, and in the case of hardware it's also known as a defect. There are a lot of forms that you can use for 8D problem solving, and people think that filling out the form is solving the problem using 8D. Well, that's not really so, and you can get the forms on the internet, so I'm not going to bother with you with these now. A Ford Motor Company is credited with developing the 8D process, and some of the terms we use today may have come from Ford. So an effective and well implemented quality management system is what helps you solve problems, along with a team of highly skilled and qualified people. Ironically, the organization that does the best job of preventing problems will do the best job of solving them in the long run. So D2 is describe the problem. We're not going to discuss all the other disciplines, but the first thing we need to know what the principles are of 8D. The product or the process must have had a history of successfully meeting all requirements. Something then changed to cause the problem. That's known as a root cause. So the problem-solving team must revisit the past to determine and verify the root cause. To describe the problem, you have to answer the questions of what, when, where, how big, in terms of is and is not. In other words, when did the problem occur? When did it not occur? You actually have to look for the problem to say that it didn't occur. In other words, it's based upon facts and data. So when you're looking at the step of when, this best illustrates where an effective management system helps solve the problem faster and better. When was it first seen? When else was it seen? When wasn't it seen? Where was it seen in the design and development process? When was it seen in the manufacturing process? And these are some of the parts of the product realization life cycle that you might want to look at. Customer requirements, design concept, design valuation. An important tool that's used is the design FMEA, or failure modes and effects analysis. This actually tells you, demonstrates that you've looked for the problem, anticipated the failure mode and its effect, as well as the potential causes, and in the design you have strived to eliminate the causes of the problem, or the probability that the cause will become active and occur, hence causing a defect. So if it's not in the design for the product that's caused you a problem, it may be in the manufacturing process. And again, the use of the FMEA and process validation is important. Later on, as you're in production, the process control and monitoring plans, the product monitoring plans, and the associated data is also important. Now the organization will have this organized, and ideally it'll be readily retrieved, and the team members will be able to interpret this data to fully describe the problem. Additional records that should be available are records of changes. Changes to the product design, changes to the process, because remember, the root cause in an 8D problem was a result of some change that was made. And we're trying to restore the situation to what it was before the problem occurred. Now, 8D alone may not solve your problem, but the 8D process is a good step along the way when you describe the problem to knowing that you may have a performance gap. And that performance gap may take more skills and expertise to close. It could be a performance gap in the product design or the manufacturing process, and the team may require specialists to help solve the problem. For example, if the problem is in a component that you've purchased from a supplier, you can go to the supplier if no one in your company has expertise on these components, and the supplier should be more than willing to help you solve that problem. Or you can go to outside consultants who have specialized expertise. Now, behind me are several boxes that include hundreds of products, hundreds of problems that Apex Electrical Interconnection Consultants has helped our clients solve. If you'd like to talk more to us about this, please feel free to contact us.